And now, to cap off the show, we're going to review A Quiet Place Part 2. This is a sequel to the 2018 smash hit A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place Part 2 follows the Abbott family as they continue to struggle to survive in a world plagued by blind aliens that hunt by sound. Now, this is another movie, yet again, that got postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the very first film to get postponed. I remember it was like a week or two before it's scheduled to come out. This is when things were like really starting to go crazy in March 2020. And I get a news alert on my IMDb feed saying that this movie had been pushed back indefinitely. And it was really strange. And it turned out to be the shot heard around the world as far as movies getting postponed because of COVID-19. But now it's finally here. And I'm going to be honest and just say right off the bat, this was well worth the wait. Not only it wasn't just worth the hour and a half I spent watching this movie in the theater, which has to be seen in the theater. It was worth the over a year that I had to wait in order to watch this. But Darius, I'm curious if you feel the same way.
So when I first got out of the theater, at first I was like, I like it, I didn't love it. The more I thought about it now, given a few days, I freaking love this movie. This met almost all of my expectations. John Krasinski, yet again, can put me on the edge of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens it has to be, this is, I believe, his second movie now. Correct me if I'm wrong, and this is absolutely phenomenal. Everything from having, really how I see it, two leads in this film, Emily Blunt's character and the daughter. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like just seeing how these characters are yet interacting, even interacting with new characters in this film, is thoroughly enjoying, thoroughly exciting, intriguing, putting a face on the sounds of these creatures that are this horrific and this frightening is also interesting too, because if there's anything I was always curious about as far as the world of A Quiet Place is what these creatures truly look like. Mm-hmm. We always saw glimpses of it and maybe a bit of how they look, but never fully realized. And seeing them fully realized in A Quiet Place Part 2, I have to say these are some, one, interesting designs, and two, I love just how even these creatures are interacting with the world too. They have this ferocity and this frightening aspect to them that I was just like, this is freakier than I could ever imagine for this type of movie, and I really like it.
Building off what you're saying as far as it's like, expanding things, right? Like this movie definitely expands the quote Quiet Place universe. It expands what we know about the monsters. It introduces a new character, new threats, new solutions, and stuff like that without spoiling too much. But it still keeps a lot of the same great things from the first film. John Krasinski's direction, the craftsmanship, the amazing use of sound and silence. That's another thing that I loved about the first movie, and it's just as great in this film as well. The movie still had me on the edge of my seat throughout. It still feels very intelligent. Like, this is technically a horror movie, but you don't have like any stereotypically dumb horror movie decisions going on in this film as well as the first one. So that's something I respect a lot about this. And again, I think that comes down to writing more than anything. I think John Krasinski did a terrific job writing this film as well. And again, the intelligence, the craftsmanship, the emotion, you still care very much about everything that's going on with these people. And I think too, that's something that a lot of horror movies are missing. You have, the scares, and like that's the thing that the people go for. But I think if you add that extra emotional layer, like, oh man, I actually care about these people that are going through this horrible thing. Like, this isn't just like, scary, or like, this isn't just, torture porn. Like, I actually care about these people that are going through this terrifying situation. And A Quiet Place 1 and 2 managed to just pull that off really, really well and separate themselves from other horror movies in this department.
Yep. And one of the things that we both touched upon, the whole A Quiet Place Part 2 expanded the world. To me, it not only just expanded the world, you see new characters, new interactions, but it still was able to keep its focus in the main family and focus in elevating even the tension within the family and what the family is going through. And I didn't think they would pull that off, but they did that so well in a way that is enriching, and not only that, but also when you meet the new characters, you care about them too,
Yep.
which I didn't even expect that to happen for myself. Because with Cillian Murphy's character, great actor, love him in Dark Knight and in the other film in Inception and Dunkirk, he was terrific in this movie, and man, I really felt for this character, and I did not expect to feel that much, and not only feel for him, but also as I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking of the type of person maybe he became after the invasion, and it just made me so intrigued and so immersed in this film overall that I was just like, nothing in this film really pulled me out completely, or even made me question why did this happen when this could have done this. I was just fully in this world and fully in this movie.
You believed it. You believed it. That's what it comes down to. You believed everything that was going on. Everything made sense. And again, going back to, I guess, expanding things, right? We keep going back to expanding things, but it's one of the things that this movie pulls off really well. The characters find out a lot of new things as far as the people they knew, as far as the threats that they face. And I love how this wasn't all explained in the beginning of the film, whether it's in the beginning of this one or the first film. We find out everything new with the characters. We find everything out with them. And I think this really helped give the film a sense of mystery and discovery too. It made me feel like, oh, I'm on this terrifying journey with them.
Yep, absolutely. Again, this, I don't know, John Krasinski, you keep at it, man. My eyes are open. Anything you do, I'm interested now. Same and here. Intrigued. Because you are just, you have a 2 for 2 now.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people can do a solid 2 for 2.
Yeah, like I said, this movie definitely stands tall with the first one for sure. I don't think one is in a different league than the other. These two are very much in the same caliber of quality film for sure.
Exactly. So I definitely recommend people, if you loved A Quiet Place Part 1, you're probably going to love this just as much as we did. If this is the type of movie for you, this, again, if you liked Quiet Place Part 1, you'll like this too, most likely, probably. Again, so I hope you guys like this movie. My God, just thinking about it, I want to see it again.
Yeah, no, this, like I said, this is well worth the delay time. This is well worth the hour and a half in the theater. And I remember originally this was supposed to, after it got delayed, it was supposed to come out a bit later than it did, but then randomly got pushed back to, or pulled up to Memorial Day weekend. I'm like, holy shit, fuck yes, let's go. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy because, again,
it's yes, finally.
Because this is another movie that I think is going to be essential in bringing people back to cinemas, bringing them back to the theaters, because honestly, this has to happen. As someone who loves a movie theater experience, this has to happen. This has to stay alive. And I'm really happy that A Quiet Place Part 2 came out when it did, because who knows how much longer the movie theaters can survive without films such as this one.
Exactly. And so there's really almost, I will say one thing. There is an actor in here that I did not see coming. And I do feel as if I wish they gave him a bit more in the movie, but I understood why, I guess, they put him where they placed him in the script. And I'm fine with it, but I really wish they did more with this character.
I think I know who you're talking about,
this
too.
Actor.
I don't want to give it away, but I have an feeling I know who you're talking about.
But like I said, thoroughly enjoyed it. It was predictable at certain points. I think towards the middle to the end, it started getting a bit predictable, but at the same time, for me, I didn't care that much because it was just it was that enriching. It was that engrossing to the point where it's I'm not there really not just to see how the plot unfolds, but these characters and how they react to the situations that they do.
And experiencing these situations
with them
enjoyed
too. It.
And experiencing experiencing this situations with them too. And again, I can't say I felt like the movie was terribly predictable or anything like that, but even if it was, I felt like I wouldn't have minded, because even if I knew what was going to happen, what was going to happen was scary, or, to use your word, engrossing enough that you're kind of just counting down to that thing happening,
Exactly. Which is why I'm fine with the predictability aspect, because it's like the world was that interesting, unique, the characters, the family, I was in it, and it's not, this is the immersion of a film and how powerful films can be. And I think A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2 are a prime example. And this movie also reminded me of a video game that I love called The Last of Us, where how they just did certain things, and the oner shot they almost did, and it's I love this movie. That's all I gotta say.
And again, just to say one more time, this is something that has to be seen in the theater. And I just want to ask you guys, was A Quiet Place Part 2 worth the wait for you? Did you see it in the theater? Do you want more following this sequel? Leave your thoughts in the comments section there below. And just like that, episode 17 has come and gone. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to get all notifications, whether you're on Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, the Podcast Index, or YouTube. And our social media profiles that are there in the description for the show, they're there for you to follow, so I suggest you do so. And just like that, we're done. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Darius, for doing this with me yet again. And I'll see you all soon.
Of course.